Hi, I'm Karen Collins. Today I'm talking with Roberta Anding, who is Director of Sports Nutrition at Texas Children's Hospital and the sports dietitian for several Texas teams. Thank you, Roberta, for this time.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Now, those letters CSSD after your name stand for Certified Specialist in Sports Dietetics.
Correct.
Who are the athletes with whom you work?
Well, I always am very blessed to say that I work with peewees to pros. So I get to work with little kids, I get to work with the adolescent high school athlete, and then in my career I was the dietitian for the Texans for 12 years, currently work for the Astros and Rice University. So I get a little bit of everything.
That's
a lot of
exciting.
Fun. Yeah, a lot of fun.
Now, especially with the elite athletes, not just the pros, but the people who are really pushing and looking for every sort of cutting-edge benefit that they can get, it must be challenging to try to help them maximize peak performance and yet still do it in a way that promotes their overall health.
Right.
And, what are the challenges that you've run into there?
Well, there's a lot of challenges because oftentimes when you get to that elite level, you think performance nutrition comes from pills. And so I always stress performance nutrition is the power of the plate. And so getting them to think about the way they organize their food, the choices, the variety, and when there's something they don't like, is there a way that they could incorporate something else to make it more palatable?
That's good. Are there particular tips or tricks you found in working with people to help them do that?
Yeah, I think one big one is if there's something you don't like, dress it up or hide it with something that you do, and smoothies are a great vehicle to do that. So if you said, I don't think I like kale, well, if you put it in with red raspberries and some vanilla yogurt, now all of a sudden it tastes delicious and you've got that variety that you're looking for.
That's a pretty cool trick.
It's a very nice trick.
So what would be some of the sort of core principles that go into this plate then that you're talking about?
Yeah.
Healthy eating.
The healthy eating
For athletes.
For athletes. The United States Olympic Committee actually came up with a really great graphic that kind of mirrors my plate called the athlete's plate. And so when I look at someone who's trying to make weight or stay on the lean side, 50% of that plate needs to be fruits and vegetables. And in my 12 years at the Texans, we actually bought plates that look like that. So I would say to really big men who had really high calorie needs, the first plate belongs to me. The second and the third you get to do with what you want, but I needed to have beautiful, colorful fruits and vegetables on that first plate of food. And then a beverage that might be fruit-based to go along with that, or milk.
And were fruits one of the foods that was hard for guys who are kind of focused on protein and so forth to see as important, or were they ready to embrace that even without your help?
Oh, no, I think the evolution of sports nutrition has really made today's athlete more likely to incorporate fruits and vegetables because of all the benefits. And so when I would promote red raspberries, for example, I would talk about some of the phytocompounds in red raspberries that would function similar to aspirin, but without aspirin side effect. And so I can use raspberries for inflammation. Absolutely you can, as part of an overall healthy diet. So as we know as sports dietitians, it's not one food that makes the difference, it's the synergy of what's on the plate that really makes the difference in performance as well as that long-term health that today's athlete's striving for.
And do you find today's athletes are thinking about their long-term health, or are they? It varies probably.
It varies, and I think a lot of it depends on the age. And I think part of being a professional athlete is the belief you're bulletproof, that this isn't going to happen to me. But when athletes, particularly football players, are in their late 20s or early 30s, and unfortunately for them that's towards the end of their career, they are really looking at not only can I extend my career with a performance-based diet, but what's going to happen to me when I retire. So I have to say I think some of the best work I did at the Texans was helping those athletes to transition from professional football to the real world as a daddy, as a son, as a brother. And I can tell you there's remarkable stories of athletes who really went with more of a plant-enhanced diet that were able to cut body fat and really transition very well.
Nice.
Yeah. Very exciting for me.
Yeah, I bet. Very good feeling.
Absolutely. And to me, the nicest compliment I can ever get after I've worked with any athlete at any level is to hear from them 2 or 3 years later that the information that you gave, or that tip about incorporating more fruits into my son's diet when he was 5, really made a difference for my family's nutrition. And I think that's where sports dietitians can really make an impact. We take our great clinical background, we marry it with scientific principles, and we stress real food. That's where I think the real magic happens.
One of your guys even went somewhere and needed your raspberry smoothie recipe
Yes,
or something like that?
Yes, professional football is really fluid, and so players are cut and picked up by other teams, and so one guy left our team to go to another, and it was, we don't have this at my new team, so not only did I give him the recipe, he gave it to the athletic trainer who was at that team to say this is what we did when we were at the Texans. And so again, I think when good nutrition is perceived and actually experienced as palatable, then it's not hard for people to accept. And then it, oh, by the way, it just happens to be really good for you too.
Well, how lucky those athletes are to have had someone
Oh,
like
thank
you.
you, thank you.
And as you say, I think the message that it's not sports nutrition or health nutrition,
Right.
but the two
They're
do
the
go
same.
together.
They're absolutely
and the role
the same.
of fruits and vegetables
Mhm.
is there for everyone. It's pretty exciting. So thank you for this time, and thank you for joining us.